So, does it ever drive you bonkers that your team is price sensitive? They think with their own back pocket or get really shy or nervous when someone's premium goes up? Well, part of our wow customer service is exactly how to overcome your own price bias. You can't wow customers if you're always worried about if they're going to freak about rate. So, listen to this sneak peek. I'm releasing it just to you to watch on YouTube or on our podcast to listen to so you can get a flavor of what's going on in our new wow customer service course. Check it out, and I'm going to meet you at the end where I can tell you exactly how you can purchase this just for your agency. And we have not one, but 4 ways that you could utilize this training. So, without further ado, I'll show you how we help unpack price sensitivity. So, now we're going to talk about how you can overcome your own price sensitivity. You may not think that you have some price bias, but we all are subject to it. My mom can tell you a whole story about how she's broke, but the problem that you have is that she just went to Hawaii for 2.5 weeks. So we need to disengage from price and realize we're protecting people's assets, protecting what they work really hard for. And we need to remind ourselves of how to reconnect the client to what they're insuring. But also, we can't have price bias because remember, it's not our policy. I'll take this into another avenue. There's a lot of people out there who maybe are not as supportive as telematics as we'd like them to be. That's agents I'm talking about. And I like to remind people, maybe you wouldn't put it in your car, but it's not your policy. So why not let the person decide what's best for them, not have us imply it? Every contact we have the customer influence whether or not they'll come back. We have to be great every time or we will lose them. So that is the point of the client piggy bank, right? So how do we overcome our own price bias, right? Remember, it's not our policy and it's not our money. We can't shop with our own back pocket. I like to think that there are plenty of people out there that buy $800 bottles of wine, and maybe the person serving it has never, $800 is their whole rent month, but you're still going to serve it to them and be happy for them. There is a whole variety of people's economic challenges and not only economic, but belief systems as well. If you can't afford the policy, you simply cannot afford the claim. And I want to remind us that when someone calls in and says, why did my rate go up? It's just a question. It's not a demand, it's not a request, and it's not a threat. We need to answer the question and then identify next steps. Sometimes I think we put the cart before the horse on that one. Your value is greater than finding the cheapest policy. And you have to believe that you are worth the client paying $20 more a month to get what you have to offer. Don't get brainwashed by other people calling in with rate concerns. If you're not doing proactive renewal reviews, you're only getting a certain audience that is calling you. There's all these other people that are taking rate and not even saying a word. You just don't feel them, hear them, or interact with them. And remember, on the worst day, do you want the cheapest insurance? So identifying your own price bias, how do you determine, and we're just going to go some Q&A, right? So how do you determine the best policy to recommend to your clients? So a price bias person would say, I focus on their budget or I pick the cheapest option. Where a value-driven person would, I evaluate their assets and their risks first, even if what I'm providing is higher. So you want to make sure you're exploring what the customer needs. Another question. What's your go-to response when the client says the premium's too high? So I like to offer a lowest cost plan or, I explore other items. But a better one is say, hey, you know what? When a client says the premium's too high, let's explore what happened. Let's talk to them about why they think it's too high. It's a conversation first. I would ask, how do you justify a policy that's $50 more a month to a skeptical client? So this might be focusing, the price bias person would say, I want to get it down. I want to shop it, right? But the value-driven person say it includes flood in saving thousands of dollars in repairs. It includes some features that maybe people still need, and taking it off isn't the best option. How do you build trust with a client fixated on the lowest price? Well, some people can agree, well, we need to solve that for them, but others would say, let's review coverage. Really what it is, it's the value proposition, right? What is the value that we provide? Do you ever feel hesitant about recommended higher cost policy? How do you manage that? Some people would say, I do, I don't like it, but other people say, well, I focus on their needs to identify what's most important in protection first. When you go buy a car, they listen to you, but they also try to throw some extra bells and whistles in there. People are more connected to the policy when they understand what it covers. So, how you can encourage value or price, right? Share policy features. Have the heart of a teacher. All teachers do is teach. We're not asking to push or pull or beg. We're just teaching people about their insurance. Maybe provide a coverage A, option A, option B, not coverage A. That would get messy. Option A, option B. When you show people options, it displays how the policy works. Build the relationships, build up that rapport, understand what's critical to them. And being proactive allows you to control the conversation. Have claim stories. And if you look, we have our How to Sell and Explain coverage, which has claim stories for every single type of coverage out there. And I always like to say, what's the cost of bad coverage? But when you do reviews, a lot of this goes away because we are showing our value and we're connecting with people that have a more value-driven mindset than the people calling in. So remember, price is a consideration, however, so is value. And how would the client would want their policy to respond in a claim? That's a really great question is, what would you want to do in a claim situation? On the worst day of your life, how would you want your insurance to respond? So you really just have to have the conversation. So next up, we're going to talk about how do we handle an upset customer? Because darn it, insurance can be frustrating. So now what would be the excuse for you not to get your team this kind of training? We also have tone and empathy. We have how to handle the 5 biggest service transactions and wow your customers, as well as the 5 biggest conversations you have to have, and a script booklet. Come on, this is easy. You can either get our pre-recorded video training, get this, use it forever for $295, no brainer. Or you can subscribe to our school for $295 a month, get all of our content. Or you could buy a seat in our new live virtual training where you can train your team with a group of other agencies and just have 1 hour a week for 10 weeks in a row to get them the tools that they need to wow their customers. Or have us come out and work with your agency directly. It's literally all the options. So there is no more barrier to utilizing us. Let's go ahead and get your team the tools that they need to wow their customers and focus in on helping them express themselves, but also getting those customers to renew and retain. So hopefully you'll have any questions. You'll hop a link below and click or reach out to us. We're happy to answer questions. But there are no more excuses, everybody. It's time to train your team.